Let's continue the topic we started in the previous episode. Believers in the existence of God. Non-believers in the existence of God, believers in religions, and non-believers in religions. I have found that we often wrong the person who disagrees with our ideas, whether it's a believer in a non-believing society or a non-believer in a believing society. No community is exempt from this injustice. Even societies that claim intellectual freedom sometimes engage in oppression, occasionally reaching the point of religious persecution. For those who wish to observe, they will find undeniable evidence of this. But let's return to our topic. Bullying and wrong others because they hold beliefs different from ours, whether it's belief in God or the conviction of God's non-existence. When you reflect on the nature of the system of ideas in the world, you will find that ideas, by their very nature, evolve just like Darwin explained in his theory of evolution, how organisms evolve and emerge from one another. Similarly, ideas evolve and emerge from each other. How do ideas emerge? The first idea forms when someone says something, and then it evolves. Let's reflect on what we mentioned earlier about life on Earth ending approximately 5 times, or at least that's what I know, due to a solar storm, a meteor, etc. Life nearly ends each time, leaving behind only simple things, single-cell organisms, and bacteria, and then life rebuilds itself, meaning that at one point there were single-cell organisms and bacteria from which dinosaurs emerged. Then the dinosaurs became extinct, leaving behind simple forms of life, and then life started anew. Remember, you claim to understand everything, but you believe you understand everything only because you've ignored thinking about most things. If you contemplate everything around you and think deeply, you'll realize that you know nothing, and perhaps then you'll find peace and tranquility. Ideas, they are born and evolve over time just as you develop and change. The human of today is not the same as the human from 1,000 years ago, 100 years ago, or even 10 years ago. The internet has changed humanity. Ongoing wars have changed humanity. Modern science and its advancements have changed humanity. I don't believe you are the same person who were before the widespread use of mobile phones, for example. The impact of this change also affects new generations. When I observe young people in their 20s and 30s, I realize that I was not like them when I was their age. I was entirely different. I believe everyone of my age shares this feeling everything changes. And so do ideas. Reflect on how ideas are built and developed. And remember that not every evolution leads in the right direction. Some ideas, as they evolve, may become distorted. Let's take a closer look at religions and how religious ideas have evolved. Do you really believe that a rabbi in a modern synagogue can be compared to the followers of the prophet Moses, peace be upon him, or that a priest in a church can be likened to the disciples of Jesus Christ, peace be upon him? or that a sheikh or imam in a mosque can be compared to the companions of Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him. I hope you don't believe this, because we all know that everything has changed. All the concepts in our minds have changed. We know it happens, and we can't ignore it or claim nothing has changed. You know this is how your brain works. You know how your brain layers ideas and how it protects its beliefs. If you don't, then go research it. There are sciences that explain how your brain defends its cognitive framework. Do you realize that when your brain encounters an unfamiliar idea, such as when you believe in the existence of God and someone tells you that God doesn't exist, it is a concept completely contrary to what your mind believes. Or, conversely, if you are someone who doesn't believe in God and someone presents you with evidence that God exists, it is also the opposite of what you believe. When your brain encounters an idea that contradicts its beliefs, it results in a reaction equivalent to what your brain does when you are at war. The mental reactions when facing a contradictory belief are the same as when an individual is in a fierce battle or conflict. Do you realize to what extent you defend your ideas? Pay close attention to this. Let's return to our perspective on those who hold beliefs different from our own. Often, we view them as outcast or unwanted, and some even think they should be eliminated or that their existence is not acceptable. Anyone who makes such claims has never considered that doubt or disagreement with any idea is part of a challenge or spark inherent in the system. This is part of the nature of the system. In the system within which ideas exist, every idea will be challenged, even the concept of God, the Lord of the worlds. As someone who believes in and worships God, I am convinced that God created humanity with the ability to challenge the idea of his own existence. Isn't that magnificent? I don't think God would disrupt the system he established for us, as this is the very system in which we live, the system we are part of, and the system we move within. This is the way of life. Just as evil, anger, and violence are part of what makes life continue, so too are doubt and disagreement. Even when you hold a belief or are of faith, don't make yourself the defender of God. God does not need you to defend him. You cannot defend God. For no one can attack God. Thus, God does not need you to defend him. If you wish to embody God's will or to be a representation of his divine intent, then accept his creation and the system he has established. I am not saying that you celebrate disbelief, but I mean that when you look at him, you should accept that they are a creation. The way they think is part of the system. If a scorpion stings you, you won't stand there and fight it, calling it vile and accursed. In reality, you won't do that because the scorpion, like you, is part of the system. Your understanding of this makes you avoid conflict with the scorpion. Similarly, apply this understanding to people who challenge your beliefs. You must acknowledge and accept that disagreement is a part of the system. Pay close attention to this idea. Looking at the issue of doubt, and as we discussed earlier about the theory of evolution, we can see how some people have exploited this theory to undermine the creationist view by spreading a severe fallacy. This has led to the creation of terms like creationist for those who believe in creation and evolutionist for those who believe in evolution, as if the two are entirely different concepts. In reality, they are not different at all. As we mentioned previously, creation does not contradict evolution. In reality, Darwin did exactly what Allah commanded in the Quran. In Surah Al-Ankabut, Ayah 20, say,
قل سيروا في الأرض فانظروا كيف بدأ الخلق ثم الله ينشئ النشأة الآخرة إن الله على كل شيء قدير.
Travel through the land and observe how creation began. Then Allah will bring about the final creation. Indeed, Allah over all things is competent. This is precisely what Darwin did. He traveled the land and observed living organisms, resulting in the theory of evolution that we know today. So when this theory is taken and claimed to contradict creation and the existence of God, and the falsehood starts that the theory disproves the existence of a creator, I believe it is an unjust distortion. Then you find that the believer looks at the non-believer with the perspective we mentioned, and on the other hand, the non-believer looks at the believer as if they are the one who should have all the answers. If you are a believer, you should have the knowledge and ability to answer all questions. Aren't you a believer? So you should have all the answers. Seems like the believer in the existence of God should have knowledge of God. Of course not. Doubt and imperfection are part of our existence, and we do not understand how the story of Adam and the religions relates to Darwin's theory, nor do we know what happens with time. We know that time is something earthly. If there were another version of you on another planet in a different galaxy, time would undoubtedly be different. You would age faster on one than the other. Even seconds, minutes, and hours are not real. They are subjective measures specific to us here, only on Earth. Let's return to the topic. That unbeliever who views the believer as someone who must have all the answers, who should understand the connection between Adam and Darwin, and who doubts the credibility of the story of Adam as mentioned in the religions with all its details. You actually don't know anything. You don't even understand the extent of your belief in the text itself. If you are truly a believer, regardless of your religion, the extent to which you believe in the text implies that you do not know the truth. You don't know the truth of anything. Your mind can barely construct something simple that you can believe in, based on the inputs, and that is the end of it. In reality, you do not know anything about the truth or even where you reside. Be humble as a human being. Return to your place. Whether you are a believer looking at others and calling them bad, or a non-believer looking at others and calling them deceitful and ignorant both are incorrect. Some even call themselves rationalists, as if rationalists are only those who do not believe in the existence of God. It is a disgrace and not appropriate. This only means that you do not understand how the system of thought works, nor do you grasp how the system of disagreement operates. And when you contemplate these rationalists, they are also in a state of reaction. Why? Because a religious figure is always claimed to be a person connected to religion who knows the truth. It is rare for them to be asked to question and say, "I don't know." Have you ever seen a religious figure say, "I don't know"? I don't think so. Even if there are religious figures who say, "I don't know," I hope they exist, and they exist in abundance. There are stories in the tradition about religious figures who denied knowledge and the ability to answer some issues. But I'm not talking about those issues. I'm talking about the truth. I am discussing what actually happened. For instance, when you refer to the scene of Adam's creation, and then someone asks the religious figure about Darwin's theory, what will they say? They will respond, "Darwin is a liar. I know how creation happened." They are making the same mistake, but in a different way. I know the truth, and if anything contradicts what I know, it must be false. It's a disaster, a real disaster. No one knows the truth, neither I, nor you, nor the religious scholar, nor anyone else. Be humble. Always, always, always remember this beautiful image. Your brain, which provides you with all knowledge and concepts about the world, the universe, yourself, history, others, and all those lovely things, is merely a soft matter housed within your skull, without a window to see outside. I love this expression. Everything you know is the best guess your brain can conjure about what happens outside. This brain, which, if a single enzyme is secreted in excess, could turn you into a madman. Don't place too much faith in what goes on in your mind. Also, don't judge others harshly. Focus on yourself. Stay on your journey. If you truly seek the truth, continue your search for it, and know that it is a profound endeavor. And know that your utmost ability is to continue searching for the truth. Only God knows. Perhaps this is what is required. Maybe this is the role you were created for, to keep searching. Instead of pursuing something else, something false that fills your head, your task might be to search for the truth, to realize that you are following something unreal. This is just my idea, and you should continue searching for the truth. Even if you are a believer, and you worship throughout your life, asking God to show you just a part of the truth, a part of your reality, because you cannot bear much. And if you are not a believer, seek the truth and continue searching for it. When asked, "What is your faith?" respond with, "I do not know. I am searching for the truth." Be humble. Be better than many who go mad because of their minds, right? We all have a mind like yours. It is something ordinary, Do not give it too much attention. Let's continue in the next episode. God willing, we wish you all the best. We're glad you made it this far. If our video ignited something within you, we're honored. Join our Javan Rusa community to explore more and be part of our journey.